So now another interesting method of connecting to your virtual machine is using something called as a serial console. Now whenever you're connecting to your serial console for Linux, you're basically connecting to the TTYS0 serial port of that particular virtual machine. So some of the common scenarios where you would want to use your serial console is basically if you have an incorrect firewall rule, or if you have an SSH configuration issue and you cannot connect using your PuTTY or SSH, then in a scenario like that, your serial console comes in handy. So the first thing that we'll do is, again, let's go back to our console. Let's create a virtual machine. Let's create a new resource group. Okay. And now let's give a name for our virtual machine. So let's just call this as my new VM. Let's keep it in US East. And everything else remains as it is. Now the only change that I'll do is I'll make this as password, and I'll give an appropriate password for this particular user called Azure user, and I will not select any public input. So this particular instance cannot be connected using your SSH or your PuTTY. So let's click on review and create. So once again, the important thing here is that I am not connecting any inbound particular port to this particular machine. Okay, so my resource is ready. So let's go to our resource. Let's click on go to resource. And the first thing that we'll do is we'll try connecting using the public IP. Let's copy this and let's try to connect using PuTTY. So all that I need to give is this particular IP address. Let's click on open. And you can see that it basically hangs because our port 22 for PuTTY is not open. So you cannot connect using PuTTY, so it just times out. Let's click on OK. So what you need to do is you need to go to your support and troubleshooting, and underneath that you'll find your serial console. Let's open this. So here the first thing that you need to do is you need to just click on this, and here you need to choose enable with custom storage account. And you can either create a new storage account or you can select the one which already exists. Let's click on a one which already exists. And let's save this. Now, if you're not sure about what storage account is, what you can do is you can just create a new one. So storage account is something that I'll teach you in the following session. So do not worry about that. So once you've done that, let's again go back to our virtual machine. Let's refresh this. And it's trying to connect to that particular console. So it asks for the login. So the login is Azure user, and the password is the one that I had set. And you can see that I was able to log in. So this is one way in which you can connect using a serial console. Now the important thing here to remember is that none of your ports are open. So this is a very secure and a safe way. So this is generally used for diagnostics and other such kind of purposes. So I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next.